Welcome back, Shalligators. Today we're going to talk about something I don't think we've ever discussed here on the channel, which is a podcast. And the person we're going to talk about isn't a celebrity, but she certainly has a degree of infamy. Scamanda. Have you listened to this podcast? If you haven't, pause this, go binge it, and come back to me because... So Scamanda, amazing name, is about a chick named Amanda who spent 7 years faking having cancer. I'm not saying I'm an angel and I've never told a lie. Of course I have. We all have. But something like that, you can't even put it under the category of lies. You can't possibly put it under the same category of, I was just so late for work. I'm so sorry there was this goose and it needed my help. You can't even compare these things. It's like these modern artists who like throw ketchup on a wall, calling themselves artists the way Botticelli and Michelangelo are artists. I don't think so. Not on my watch. What do you call these people? And listen, hopefully you have never had to deal with someone this level of liar, scammer, sociopath in your life. But I bet you've had to deal with someone who is, I don't know, shades of this. Someone who just might be a pathological liar. I know that I have. And in fact, I'm dealing with one right now. And I'd actually love your guys' feedback on this because I don't know what to do. And it's getting to this critical mass point where her lies, they have stopped making sense and they're becoming so fantastical. And I wonder if they're becoming this way because no one's calling her out. So I've done some deep dives on what psychologists and doctors have to say about how to call out a liar, what motivates this, and how best we can insulate ourselves from these people. And we're gonna talk about Scamanda because like, what the fuck, right? What the fuck? Okay, I just want to remind you guys, join the Shallontourage. Now, the chick I'm going to talk about in this video, I have talked extensively about in the Shallontourage. It's our cozy corner of the internet. It's our bonus community. You get 5 extra videos a week. Tons of interaction with me. There's like 10 group chats. Plus you get access to Appy Endings, our dating app course, the sexy sessions. I think it's 13 hookup tutorial videos and they're good. All of Eva Week, all of Shallentine's Day. I think there's more in there, but all of that premium content is yours for as long as you want it. You can watch it absolutely forever. And yeah, you get the chance to connect with other people around the world. There's hundreds of people. People are making friends. They're meeting up. So if you just need to make some connections, if you're sick of your own friends group chat, you want to kind of start fresh, meet some new people, get some new perspectives, and I'm one of them, and get the inside scoop on my life and do some deeper dives on psychology and advice stuff that we talk about here, go ahead and join. Link is down in the bio. Okay. Let's talk about Scamanda. So it's a podcast, and this investigative journalist is hosting it, and she did it because she got an anonymous tip one day saying, hey, there's this chick, Amanda Riley. She has been claiming she has cancer for 7 years. She's got a blog. This was kind of in the heyday of bloggers, like 2012 to 16, you know, before there were influencers necessarily, there were bloggers. That's whatever. I was a blogger. That's like my villain origin story. And they're like, she has gotten thousands and thousands of dollars, free trips to like a football game, Broadway shows, free flights, free this, free that. She doesn't have cancer. She doesn't have it. And this person, she's like, I'm terrified of this woman. I'm terrified of what she's gonna do, but you need to look into this. And so this investigative reporter started digging and was very like stealthy about it. You know, she didn't want to spook her. And the way, it's still coming out. There's like still episodes being released every week, but it is like fascinating. I didn't think I would like this. I thought it would like be so frustrating. I wouldn't want to like hear about it. Oh no. I wish this was like 500 fucking episodes. Because listen, she's like the quintessential trustworthy person. She's like a perky little blonde woman. Yeah, and she has like 2 kids and Corey, my rock, my husband, my rock, hashtag Team Amanda, hashtag love my babies, hashtag soulmate, hashtag. And yeah, bitch be lying. It is fascinating. And you know I love shit like this. I love an evil mind. I just think it's so incredibly fascinating. What in the holy hell would motivate someone to do this? And I listen to a lot of podcasts about scams. It's like my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing because, you know, the takeaway is always, if the scammer put this much effort into something legitimate, they'd be just as rich, just as popular. You know, it's an interesting study on the hemorrhage of energy where, I gotta tilt this down, where you realize, yeah, like if you just put the same amount of elbow grease into something positive as something negative, because, you know, we talk a lot about mindset here and, you know, manifestation. We are constantly manifesting whatever our dominant thoughts are on. You know, are those thoughts positive or negative? It's like that scene in Ghostbusters, the original one, where they're like, clear your mind. And Ray thinks of that stupid marshmallow man. And they're like, thanks a lot. You are manifesting something. So what is it? You got to make sure your thoughts are positive. Anyway, scammers. Yeah. If they put in the work, they could just be successful. And I was also interested in the mindset aspect of this because I don't know about you, but whenever I would like play hooky from school, I can't do this, like my tummy, I would always use the same thing. My tummy hurts, I have food poisoning, something like that. And do you know what would happen every single day when I would like play hooky and drive home? I would throw up. I would psychosomatically make myself sick. I would so fully inhabit, my tummy. Bleh. I'd go home and it would become real. And I'm like, great job. Great. This is great. And so I think of Scamanda and I'm like, I'm blown away that she didn't give herself cancer. That you could inhabit that sick place for so long, so fully with everyone you know, and your body wasn't like, all right, I guess we got cancer now. Fuck, I don't know. She keeps saying it, so sure. There's a huge mind-body connection. But one of my friends, Lizzie, brought this up as I was saying that to her. She's like, that is for people with a conscience because our body creates disease based on stress. But if she doesn't have a conscience, there's no stress. She doesn't care that she's lying to people. So she's not going to manifest that disease. And it's true. And that's why sociopaths can pass a lie detector test because they measure a stress response. If you don't fucking care that you're lying, it's like, no, I didn't kill her. That kicks up nothing for you because you don't have a soul. You're going to pass with flying colors. It's interesting. It's also fascinating how useful pity is to these people. We talk about that all the time. The number one thing that a manipulative person wants is pity. And I remember reading this from an interviewer, an FBI interviewer, and he was talking about sociopaths because I'm like fascinated by these people. And he said that's the number one thing that they want is to be pitied. And you wouldn't think that. You know, you think, oh, what would a sociopath want? Oh, like power, revenge, money. It's pity. Because everyone's real malleable when you feel sorry for them, right? When they feel sorry for you, excuse me. I mean, you look at the people who fell for her scam and you can't possibly blame them. Because what kind of asshole would hear, oh my God, like you have cancer? Yeah, do you think you could like prove it to me? Because yeah, you know, just like prove it. You're not gonna say that. You're not gonna say that. Even if you think something like that, to say it, well, you become the bad guy. And what does that kick up? Our social inclusion needs. You're pushed out of the tribe. How dare you? How dare you say something so disgusting about someone who's already going through that? And that's not an imagined response. That's exactly what people will say to you. I actually know a girl like Scamanda. She went to my high school. I don't know what the fuck happened to her and when, but she is a health scammer. She might have some health problem, but not like what she's pretending. Every time I looked at her Instagram bio, there's a new disease. And when I say new disease, I'm talking tuberculosis. She literally had tuberculosis in her Instagram bio. Because of course her whole existence is her health. I have this, I have that, all these pictures of her like crying. And one time I'm like, who's taking that photo? It's a bit worrisome that you were in that much pain and someone was photographing you. I know ain't nobody photographing you. You're not in pain. You're taking selfies trying to make it look like it. You're a fucking grifter, Nicole. Okay? But yeah, tuberculosis. You know what's tuberculosis these days? Nobody. Nobody has tuberculosis. And then, as mysteriously as arrived, that word was out of her Instagram bio. So you just cured? It's insane. She's insane. She's insane. And it's difficult for us to call these people out because, again, God forbid we're wrong. We're monsters. We're monsters. But we also have trouble calling them out because we cannot put together why. Why would they be doing this? To what possible end? Money? Go to work. It's better. I mean, but some people, money is not actually the reward, the attention is. And I think with Amanda, that was the case. So there's this old killer from like, I think it was the 70s or the 80s, named Diane Downs. I don't know if you've ever heard of her story. She had 3 children, pulled the car over on a dark highway one night with the kids in the car and shot them all. Boom, boom, boom. And I think one daughter survived, maybe 2, but one daughter survived. And she claimed it was the man, it was the carjacker, it was the man. No, it was her. Because she wanted to get rid of her kids because she was sleeping with a married man and he didn't want to be a dad. And she was also a stone cold fucking psychopath. She was horrible. And she wanted to be a surrogate. She had a history of like being a surrogate, which is weird because clearly she hates kids. And I listened about this on this podcast called Killer Psyche. It's a great podcast. Candace DeLong narrates it, and she's an FBI profiler. And she's just like this sweet little thing, but and she's like, she pointed out that Diane Downs wanted to be a surrogate because she loved the attention she got when she was pregnant. But once the baby arrived, the attention shifted to the baby, and that wasn't okay. So she was great being pregnant. Oh, I'm pregnant. But she didn't want to be a mom. Yet she had 3 kids, but she killed them. So I look at Amanda and I'm like, I bet that's what happened here because she came up with this cancer thing right after her son was born. Like while she was pregnant, I have cancer. I have cancer. I think those are inextricably linked. I think she wanted to continue this let me take care of you energy, this let me enfold you and just make sure you're okay that pregnant women get, rightly so. And rightly so for cancer patients, but she saw an opportunity. Now, some people who are health scammers, they had a legitimate health scare and they got addicted to the attention they got during that. Some people, it comes out of nowhere. Do you want to hear about some other people? Oh, I'm sure that you do. So cancer fraudsters are actually, sadly, nothing new. Melissa Rice, a 24-year-old who fooled the National Cancer Foundation into donating thousands of dollars in gifts by pretending to be a 15-year-old boy with brain cancer. Victoria Gotti, like John Gotti, the mob boss's daughter, she told the world on TV she had breast cancer. Then she was forced to retract it when it turns out it was just precancerous cells that never needed any treatment. An Australian youth pastor had a very public battle with his terminal cancer, oxygen tube and all that, then admitted he was perfectly healthy. A 27-year-old teacher who spent 37 grand donated by her friends and family, jewelry, TV, vacations. A former vice president who faked cancer for 3 years to avoid an SEC investigation. Now, see, he to me is a very clear archetype of the pity being useful, you know? Oh, he's battling cancer. Oh. We don't 100% know what makes people like this tick. But we do know what makes people support them. Something called confirmation bias. And like I said, I am fascinated by scammers and con artists and people like this because they walk among us. And truly, if there should be the death penalty for anyone out there, animal abusers, child molesters, and con artists, because none of those 3 people will ever stop. Some people only kill once, right? And there's some people who need killing. We all know this. Some people are thieves and robbers because of their life circumstance, you know? Con artists, they never stop. Scammers always go back to scamming. Always. And sending them to prison is just scam finishing school. They learn amazing. They meet some great gals. They learn a lot in there. And they come back out and they start to con again. And the people I'm listening to and they support Scamanda, and they're the ones. How dare you say that? How dare you say that? It's almost not, it doesn't even have to be the scammer themselves who's berating the critics into silence. It's their sort of henchman who is in this folie à deux, this dual fantasy with the con artist, and which makes them very dangerous because they are selling this lie truly from a place of 100% rock solid belief. So they're very believable. They really sell it. You know, they're very convincing. Why is that? In the face of empirical evidence, this woman doesn't have cancer. Or even in the face of questions, it is how fucking dare you say that? And we look at someone who's doing that and we're like, dude, how are you so blind? And then we look at our text inbox, don't we? And we think, well, am I that blind? When my friends have confronted me about a fuckboy, he doesn't like you. He's never leaving his wife. He is not going to commit to you. Well, you know what? You just don't know him. Well, Are we 100% receptive to these messages? I don't think this business opportunity is going to pan out the way you think. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? And why is it so odious to see in other people, and yet we immediately do it, we instantaneously do it? It's like there's this complete disconnect between someone else is doing this, they're blindly believing in something that is so clearly full of shit, or maybe not so clear, but they're not even asking questions. Why? And then we're like, la, 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 la. We have like no self-awareness that we're engaging in the exact same thing at the exact same time, just in a different way or a different category. Why? Well, it's confirmation bias. And that, I mean, studies confirm this, and they talk about it a lot in terms of politics. That if you're like a diehard MAGA Trumper, you could throw as much evidence as you want at a MAGA person. Be like, Trump doesn't respect you. You're a farmer. He looks down on people like you. He makes fun of you. He grew up in Manhattan with like gold toilet seats. He's not a God-fearing man. He's not even a family man. Like, why do you think he understands you and has your back? You are a clown to him. You're a clown to this man, okay? You can say I agree with his policies, but no, we're not alike. But you're like, foaming at the mouth, ride or die for this person who you're a joke. He's grossed out by you. And they're like, well, you know, he's got his reason. Like, people just double the fuck down, triple down. When they hear something they don't like about a candidate, they justify it, you know? Honestly, you could throw whatever you want at me about Barack Obama. I love him. You know, none of us are immune to this. And if we think that we are, we're the biggest fools of all. Just be like, no, yeah, I engage in confirmation bias all the time. That's the first step to dismantling it. Is like, am I really holding on to this assessment of someone or some situation based on logic? Or is it just my confirmation bias? Well, what even is that? Like, what is the deeper thing? It's the risk machine, isn't it? It's the risk machine of humans. We've talked about this so much, but it so much circles back to this. Our fear of abandonment circles back to our risk machine, and our confirmation bias does too. It means we would rather feel right than be happy. And happy can be defined as the truth. We would rather feel right, like we got a good beat on things. We can predict something than have to look at the truth of a situation, have all of these things we know to be true suddenly disrupted, and the rubble of our life we have to start to rebuild. That is extremely unpleasant. And look at it if you get entangled with a scammer. Someone who's your friend, someone you're sleeping with. The fear there is there could be the enemy inside the gates, and I don't even know it. It's hard enough to repel an enemy you can identify. But if I can't even see who's who, Jesus Christ, what does that mean for me? Who am I? What is my life? I could let a serial killer into my life. Yeah, you could. That's right. And to look at that possibility that, oh my God, suddenly I have to do an evaluation of every person in my life, every person who's been in my life, every dynamic. It's just too much. It's overwhelming. And it's not just, well, this is a one-time audit of everything that I know to be true. No. It's going forward. The whole categorization and the criteria I have for evil, not evil, trustworthy, not trustworthy is out the window. I have to start building a whole new rubric. From what? My own wisdom? I clearly don't have any. I mean, this is like incredibly catastrophic to our sense of self and our sense of place in the world and how we're going to continue to move through the world going forward. Who the fuck wants to do that? Imagine what your life would be like if you were questioning the validity of everything. Are you really a cop? Is that light really red? Am I really going to get paid this week? Do I still have a job tomorrow? I mean, how could anyone function like that? Society runs on trust, doesn't it? It runs on macro trust. I trust that the police have my best interest at heart. I trust that someone's going to answer when I dial 911. I trust that this truck isn't going to swerve into my lane and just obliterate me because he's paying attention. I trust that my boss is going to pay me. I trust that my family loves me. I trust that my boyfriend's not cheating. I trust that I can tell my best friend something, she's not going to repeat it. If suddenly all of that is out the window, and that's how it feels, when you look at one person, you're like, this person close to me that I believed in is not who they say they were. Where is the bottom of that? How many other things have I deduced as trustworthy and they're not? Girl, I get it. When my relationship ended with my boyfriend in 2019, 2020, beginning of 2020, something like that, he cheated on me. He was never not cheating on me. And he was, and I believe still is, because you don't change, because scammers don't change, a pathological liar. Now, what's the difference between a pathological liar and a regular liar? Okay, well, there's 3 different types of lies. There's white lies. You look amazing in that. No, you don't look, that's not back fat. That's rear cleavage. That's, yeah. You're just doing it to spare someone's feelings. They're relatively harmless lies. There's the lies that keep you out of trouble. I was late because of the goose again. No, it was the goose. You know, you're going to come up with something that kind of keeps everyone a little happy. You're trying to mitigate confrontation. All right. And these are in ascending order. Like white lies, pretty harmless. To keep you out of trouble, you know, maybe not. And then there are criminal lies. No, I didn't take your wallet. Right? Those are lies for reasons. And if you encounter people like that, you have a chance of kind of shifting them. If they're a white liar, you can be like, Hannah, you can tell me if I look fat. I'm not going to be mad. Just say it. Give me your God's honest truth. Okay? You're going to maybe break them of the habit of just lying to make everyone happy. If it's getting, it's an in trouble thing, you can maybe shift that. Criminals, I don't know, maybe they can change. I'm not a criminal psychologist. A pathological liar, though. Lie for no reason. Well, there's got to be a reason. No, there's not. I've read a lot about this, and I have encountered many psychologists who've talked about their experience with pathological liars. And of course, that's the thing they always ask them. Why do you do this? Every single time the liar says, I don't know. I just do. They don't have a motivation, which is truly what makes them so dangerous. A liar, for any one of those other 3 reasons, okay, you can figure out what their motive is and you can maybe come up with some sort of defense. You can see through it. You can see it coming. Someone who's just like, I don't know. They're a fucking war machine. They're just a mayhem berserker moving through life just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And the destruction that these people wreak in our lives is absolutely limitless. I've told this story. My ex would lie about the weather. We were in Costa Rica and he pretended that it rained before I woke up. Big storm, gale force winds. Really, it did? Yep. And he was staunch about positional. I checked with the National Weather Service. It hadn't rained. I asked every employee at our resort, I asked other guests, did it rain? Were you up this morning? He's like, no, it's the dry season, didn't rain. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I said, this is some Dateline shit. And if you ever lie to me again, I'm done with you. And it was World War III. No, you can't just say that and act like the conversation's done. Oh, it was beyond gaslighting. It was a full-on blitzkrieg assault on me. I ended up apologizing because that's what you do in these situations. They go so ballistic. You're like, all right, I'm sorry. How would you like it if I called you a liar? Well, I wouldn't like it. But I shot back. I'm like, you don't have a reason to call me a liar. I don't lie about the weather. I don't lie to you at all. Why would I need to? But that's the indictment. How would you like it if I didn't believe you about something? Well, I would hate it. And I remember telling my friends at the time, such an idiot. I said, you know what? If he feels the need to lie about the weather I figured it was just for attention. He wanted something interesting to say. And of course, I turned it back around on me. This was somehow my fault. I'm such an intimidating person, that people, the whole world can't handle me. I'm just too much. And so they've got to puff themselves up all the time and even if it means lying about rain, to feel like they're my equal. This is my fault. If I wasn't so big, they wouldn't feel so small. All right. Okay. And I told that in some form or another to my friends. And I said, if he feels the need to lie about the little things, fine, because I know he doesn't lie to me about the big things. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. What a clown. What a clown I am. What a clown. Of course he lied about the big things. He lied about where he went to college. I believe now. He lied about cheating on me. He lied that I had discovered the entirety of his affairs. Yes, of course. No, you know everything. No, I didn't. If someone lies about the little things, please hear this. If someone lies about little things, and no reason little things, they are lying about almost everything. And they would love to say that that's not true. Well, fuck you. That's why you don't lie, because this is the natural consequence. No one can trust your dusty ass. Don't lie then. Don't lie for no reason and people will trust you. This is not our fault. Okay, so the person I'm dealing with, oh my God, she lies about money. And this is why it's so concerning. I live in Montana. It's not a flashy place. I know, because I'm a flashy person and I stick out. I'm a little peacock, I love my designer things. My point is, like, we're not all sitting around like dick measuring who's got this and who makes that and whose parents have the most. First of all, we're too old to be talking about how much money our parents have to begin with. It's kind of weird. But she does. And she introduces these money things into every conversation. She'll switch it back to, she'll circle it back to money, how much money she has, how much money her boyfriend has, how much money her mom has, her grandmother has. Like, it all just comes back to that place. And we're like, okay, Hailey, why? It's like, it ain't that kind of party. Like, read the room. We're not talking about that. And it's so weird that she does that. And it's all rooted in insecurity. She wants to get some like cheer business off the ground. It's not really going anywhere. I obviously, have a busy work life, and so do my friends. But we're all at different levels. We're all at different places. We live in different kind of houses, and some people rent and some people don't. Like, again, like, it's not that kind of environment. We don't all live in San Tropez and we're like, it's just not that way. But she makes it that way and she introduces it. And like, I have taken some steps back because I'm like, I don't know where the bottom of this is. And the lies, like I said, are becoming more and more and more fantastical. more and more and more fantastical. And it's like, oh, she's gonna buy a sailboat. We're just like, okay. It's like how a child or a very young person, like a teenager, would daydream. Great. She's not a teenager, and she's certainly not a child. And it's very concerning. It's concerning to me. And I've been thinking, like, I don't know what to do, like how to confront this person and be like, hey, like, if you don't feel like you make a lot of money, number one, girl, like, let's all pull up together and think of ways to like get your business going. I've tried that. I've tried to offer her tips, and holy shit, did I get my head bitten off. I'm like, okay, I think I'm doing okay, but sure, if you don't want my advice, I will. But then stop acting like you do. If you don't want advice, and if you got it handled, then handle it. Okay, fine, I get my head bit off. But yeah, I'm like, do we confront her? And do you confront somebody like that and just push? It's like, what do you mean a sailboat, Hailey? Where are you gonna put a sail? I've never heard you sail. I've never seen a picture of you on a boat. You play 4 instruments? Do you own any of these instruments? I've never seen somebody who plays that many instruments who doesn't own one of them. No, like doodly-doo, like when we come over. I just think that that's kind of weird. Like, do you press and do you press? So how do you deal with a pathological liar? And it is unfortunate because some things they say probably are true, but it just gets lost in the weeds of all of this like bullshit. And I don't know that it's up to us to, and I think when I was younger, yeah, and certainly with my ex, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to now sink my teeth into this puzzle of what's true and what's not. And now I'm old and I'm mean and I'm like, you know what? No. If you want to lie to me, I'm going to disentangle myself. So here's something, a Psychology Today article written by a SVU detective, a 21-year SVU detective. So they know liars. And he said, how do we deal with a pathological liar? Understand up front, any attempt to approach them about their lying will be met with denial of their lies. Approaching them head on will always prove futile. Mostly, dealing with a pathological liar lies with you. One action you may take is to curtail conversational engagement with them once you observe a lie. Don't take it personally. A pathological liar will lie to almost everyone. It's not you. Don't argue with them. They live in a fantasy world, a world where they are psychologically unbalanced, and arguing with them leads to a dead end and potentially endless argument. Oh, God. I know. Infuriating. It's such insult to injury. So it's like, oh, so they just get to skate along and just keep lying? I mean, yeah, kind of. Listen, this could be the hill that you die on, that you're like, explain the clarinet, Hailey. I want to see, produce the clarinet by 7 p.m. tomorrow, doodly-doo, give me the doodly-doo, or admit that you don't fucking play the clarinet. You could die on the clarinet hill. You absolutely can. You can. But it might feel like you're dying. It might feel like you're dying because they are gonna go ballistic. And you know what liars are good at? Lying. They could very well go around town and be like, she attacked me about my clarinet. Like you could be the bad guy. The people who called out Scamander, this investigative journalist didn't even approach this bitch. Didn't call her, didn't text her, didn't email, nothing. But she was calling people who knew her and she'd play the recording. It was all very professional. Hey, I just have some questions about Amanda and her cancer. Like, Amanda filed a restraining order on her. And as a journalist, like, that's on your permanent record. Like, if someone, good luck getting a job if people like, you have a restraining order? That's like horrible on your record and unjust. But they got pretty far fucking down the rabbit hole with that. I mean, they took it to court. It was a trial, So that goes to show what a pathological liar will do. They can be extremely dangerous. And if you want more info on this, oh my God, please listen to this podcast called Red Collar. It's about white collar criminals who turn violent And we don't think, it's like, they're just white collar. No, 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 no. You back them into a corner and they snap and they turn deadly. Like Chris Watts, he was the husband of that admittedly exceedingly annoying seeming Shanann Watts, just the name Shanann, I can't. Like he strangled her and killed their daughters and like put them out in an oil field. They live in Colorado, remember that? She did a breakdown of that from a financial crimes point of view. And when you look at it through that, you're like, holy shit, this makes complete sense why he did it. Like it wasn't the mistress. It was like this whole psychological thing. It was fascinating. But he was a white collar criminal, basically, and the walls were closing in. So listen to that. She doesn't make them anymore, but I think there's like maybe 12 more episodes. It's good. Woo, it's so good. But yes, my point is confronting these people can be very dangerous. It can be socially dangerous to you. It can just disrupt your peace to the point. And like, listen, they might never come clean. When I confronted my ex about this Rain situation, and I did it in real time, every time he tried to apologize to me or come clean for the cheating, I said one thing. I said one thing to him. Did it rain in Costa Rica? And he would hang his head. I said to him, you know that I know that that was a lie. I know that that was a lie. Just tell me why. Why would you say that? I just need to know. Because it's so fucking bizarre. And until you fess up to that, I don't believe anything else you have to say about your cheating. If you can't admit that, I don't believe that you're coming clean about anything. And to this day, he hasn't. I had a dream. It was a dream. No, nobody is that positional about a dream. You're like, wait, what about the elephant in the backyard? Oh, there's no elephant. There's no elephant in the backyard. That was me. That was a dream. You don't like double down, triple down. You don't keep going with that. Then it was, I'm a drug addict. I'm like, explain how those two concepts are linked. That's addict behavior. I said, I'm actually dating an alcoholic as we speak. Had moved on. I was like, first of all, he doesn't lie at all. And he certainly doesn't tell nonsensical, no reason boner lies. Like, so I don't understand that. Like, alcoholics lie to get something or to get out of trouble. Like, bridge these concepts. He couldn't. To this day, he has never just been like, I am a pathological liar. And that's the thing. That's the thing. That's why he hasn't fessed up to it. Because to say I lied for absolutely no reason about rain in Costa Rica shifts a domino. It tips a domino that cascades, boom, everything is a lie. Where I went to college, the languages I speak, my hobbies, everything is a lie. And he knows that. That is the first link in the chain. So my point is, if you die on your doodly-doo clarinet hill, she's never going to admit that, because then she's smart enough to know that if that pointless, unnecessary lie is in fact thus, nobody will believe anything else she says. Rightly so. Rightly so. If that was a one-off lie, you can explain it. Listen, I lied about the clarinet because I just feel like you guys are all really talented. And I thought, hey, it'd be cool if I was like, yeah, no, I have a hobby too. I can do something too. Maybe on some level that is the motivation. I don't know. But she's so out of touch with even that to the point that she could explain it away. It's just part of this enormous ecosystem of bullshit. And yeah, I know. The idea of just letting these people run free is galling. I am very concerned with justice. I'm an Aquarius. And I feel like I'm the sword and the shield. Look at what I do for a living. I get out in front of shit, and like, I truly believe it is my responsibility to exact justice. I would have made an excellent like Wild West judge. Just hang them high. I would have been terrible. But it's very hard for me to let things like this go. It's very hard. Like, if I'm near it, I can't, I gotta pull on that thread. I'm climbing up my clarinet hill. So here's something you can do. You have to basically con the con man. And it takes patience, it takes strategy, and it takes a cool head. So let's use this clarinet lie. Like, oh, yep, I played the clarinet. No, I played my whole life. Really? Oh my gosh, Hailey, I would love, my grandmother played the clarinet. No, she didn't. You wanna lie about clarinets? I can lie about wind instruments too. Oh my gosh, I would love to hear you. Will you bring it to the next girls' night? She'll say, yeah. Or she'll say, oh, I don't have one. Be like, oh, let's go get you one. Oh my God, you know what? It's my treat. I can't remember the last birthday present I got you. Let's go get one. Yeah, okay. Next time, let's go to lunch. Okay, you go pick her up. Hey, I've got a surprise. We're going by Music City. Clarinet time. Cool, yeah. It's my treat. Pick one out. You might have to spend some money on a clarinet, right? My point is, you sink your teeth in and you keep going. You do it in a way that's kind. There's no blood in the water. Nope, your hands are clean. Oh my gosh, Hailey, yeah, did you bring your clarinet over? Hey, when are you coming over with your clarinet? Just keep after it. Because what these people rely on is that you won't do your due diligence. Oh, sure, I speak German. Yeah, I went to NYU. It was raining. He didn't expect me to check the National fucking Weather Service, did he? But I do my homework. So if you can let them know, I'm not the one. I'm going to make you walk it like you talk it. I'm going to ask for receipts. I'm going to have you back it up in the kindest way. Oh my God, so kind. Oh, she's so interested. I'm just so interested in the clarinet. They're going to think twice before they tell that lie in front of you. And maybe they're going to think twice before they talk about the sailboat they're going to buy or the high-rise downtown that their grandmother's purchasing. They might think twice. Now, again, that requires you to remain very dispassionate, right? And just keep like a dog with a bone. Go, go, go. Give them nowhere to run to. Well, wait a minute. Like, I bought you that clarinet. Like, will you FaceTime me playing it? I cannot wait to see it. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And do it. This is important. Do it in public. Do it in front of other people. Almost everyone, even these lunatics, respond very well to shame. Very, very well. And if you just keep on sinking your teeth into it, like, you guys are gonna FaceTime Hailey. Hey, gang's all here, get the clarinet out. Let's just a few notes. I know you're busy. They might think twice about telling these lies again. Is this gonna fix them? No. I believe that that's why it's called a pathological liar. It's a pathology. It's a coding within them. What is it based on? Bro, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? I have thought about this with Hailey like so much. Like, I've lost sleep. Like, what is it? What is it? Why is she doing this? Why is she doing this? And I'm like, I don't care. Why can't Cowboy, my dog, talk? I don't know, but he can't. How does electricity work? I have no idea. None. But it is what it is. And I don't sit there stressing about it. I'm just like, okay, that's the deal. I'm moving on. I'm not trusting her with something. I'm not sitting next to her at a party. I'm not engaging. If she tells me something, yeah, high rise, clarinets, okay. And I'm just moving on. Because listen, peace or victory, you know? Right or happy. You can die on that clarinet hill. You can seek the victory over this person. You can make everyone see. Or you can move on with your life and get peace. But hold on a second, hold on. What about if you're dealing with someone who's not telling clarinet level lies? What if they're telling Amanda level lies and they are hurting people and they are scamming people? I actually think that is a hill you should die on. I do, you know? And I think you have the right to call them out and provide details, receipts, data. What combats delusion? Data, whether that's fear. You're not actually going to die in this elevator. You're going to be fine. Your central nervous system tells you otherwise. You're going to be fine. Data combats that. And so hit people with data. Or at the very least, and this is why I tell you to call out the Haileys and the clarinet lies in public. Because if you can just keep pressing on them in public, they will work themselves into a lather. The higher they get, the more foamy at the mouth they get, you stay quieter. Think about a villain in it like a Disney movie. Are any of them screechy and shouty? No, they're quiet. They're menacing. They're strategic. All right? And you let this liar just spin out. What do we say about the truth? Actually, Augustine of Hippo said this. There is no need to defend the truth. The truth is like a lion. Set it free and it will defend itself. That means keep it short, bitch. You don't have to go on and on and on and on about why you play the clarinet. It's a doodly-doo, and that proves it, right? You don't need to go on and on about, it did rain, it did. There'd be puddles on the ground. The truth defends itself. So let someone tie their own noose. Give them the rope to hang themselves. Get them talking. Ask them questions. Eventually, you will hit a question they can't answer, and they're going to become absolutely fucking livid. And this is going to play out in a group. And meanwhile, you're not like, and what about the clarinet? You're not screaming about it. You're just like, so look, if you are going to take the route where you're calling someone on this again, and you just want to do it in real life, like, really, you got into Stanford. Is that right, Mackenzie? You got into Stanford? Yes, I did. Huh. And what was your GPA? It was 4.3. Huh, that's interesting because I remember you posting on Instagram that you failed your bio exam. So how did you get a 4.3? And they're going to talk and they're going to talk and they're going to talk. You want to get a liar talking in public amongst other people because they're going to talk and they're going to talk, and eventually they're going to trip up. And their lies are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because it's not rooted in logic. I don't know. I feel like we could do a million videos on this. Tell me what you guys have to say. Have you listened to this show? What is your takeaway? Do you think the husband knew? I think he absolutely 1000% did. What have you encountered someone like this? How did you deal with it? You know, I feel so bad for the husband's ex-wife because she's just like, I knew I just had to let it play out. And meanwhile, like, they took her daughter from her. It's just the whole thing is like, oh. And it seems like it's going to collapse for Scamanda. I mean, clearly there's a podcast, but for a lot of people, it doesn't, you know? And they get away with it and they ruin lives. So what do you do with this? All right, that's it for today. I feel like we talked about this for 6 hours. Like I said, join me in the Shallongerage. You get 5 bonus videos a week, plus group chats with me and access to all the bonus content we've ever put out. I'll see you later, Shalligators.